What is going on, guys, and welcome to the Roadblock 2016 review, basically, is what I was trying to say there. And yeah, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a solid show around. The card was decent. The main event was fantastic. We had some really good other matches as well. I thought it was a good show. Obviously, nothing really changed hands. It was very predictable. But we got some good wrestling, and it wasn't that bad for something on the network. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was a good show. It's got me excited for WrestleMania. Yes, of course, I'm disappointed that Dean Ambrose didn't win. More on that in a little bit. But let's get kicked into it. Then the first match was a New Day versus a League of Nations. We saw the Booty-O cereal. New Day now, in my opinion, looking like their full faces. Going to be going into a feud and a rematch with the League of Nations at WrestleMania. The New Day were victorious in this matchup. And I tell you what, at one point I did think the League of Nations were actually going to win. Didn't happen. New Day keep hold of the titles, and it looks as if we're going for a rematch at WrestleMania. The crowd really made this match better than what it was. It was a little bit scrappy, a little bit botchy, but it was an okay match. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad match. There were a couple of botches, but it wasn't that bad at all. And in the end, New Day getting the victory, and they are one of the best tag teams in wrestling at the moment, in my opinion, just for the character, everything about them. There's more to a tag team than just the wrestling itself, and the New Day have it all. The match on Raw, AJ Styles, Y2AJ, and versus the New Day was incredible. One of the better tag team matches that I've seen in a long time in WWE. So that was the first match then. New Day getting the victory. Right decision for me. Looks like we're going to go on for a rematch at WrestleMania. And hopefully if they can build the chemistry a little bit better, we could get a much better match if it's given that little bit more time. We then got Jack Swagger versus Chris Jericho. The match itself was nothing special. It was a bit of a glorified squash, shall we say. Chris Jericho now ready to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Can't wait for that match at WrestleMania. Absolutely love Chris Jericho as a heel. What was the best part about this segment was, without shadow of a doubt, Chris Jericho and his promo before. It was incredible. He is, if you're a heel, and you need to look at how you're going to cut promos and who to be, you need to look at Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. They are the two best heels in WWE. Chris Jericho is a fantastic heel. The promo he cut was incredible. I just loved it. A proper good heel promo. And the fact that when he walked out at the end, he ripped up the Get Well Soon Bret Hart poster was just... wow. It was, yeah, I mean, that is just unbelievable. Healing, is that even a word? Probably not. Chris Jericho, fantastic heel. The match itself, nothing too special. I don't really care about Jack Swagger, and that's the WWE's fault. If they'd have got someone in that I care about, then maybe this match would have been a little bit better. But it wasn't really meant to be a good match. It was just meant to showcase Chris Jericho as a heel, and yeah, showcase his in-ring ability ready for AJ Styles at WrestleMania. If you're wondering where AJ Styles and Kevin Owens were, they were at Atlanta, I believe, in a WWE live event in a 30-minute Iron Man match. So that would have been impressive to see on this card. But we didn't get to see it. We then saw the NXT Tag Team title match. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy versus the Revival, or Dash and Dawson. Again, this was another thing. I love Enzo and Cass. Them versus a New Day will be one of the best tag team feuds, if WWE lets it be, that we've seen in many a year in WWE. They are ready for the main roster. I knew for a fact they were never, ever, ever going to win the tag team titles tonight. But what a match this was. One of my favourite matches of the show. The crowd again were really hot for this match. And yeah, it was a fantastic match. Enzo and Colin Cassidy, Christ alive, certainly Enzo, has he improved in the ring incredibly. And they're now a really good tag team, and they can produce really good matches. When before, 6 months ago, maybe that's where they were lacking. They had the charisma, they had the character, but did they have that ability to put on a world-class match, if you get what I mean. And now I think they do, and I think they're ready to come up to the main roster. It's amazing when you think about it. They have never held the NXT tag team titles, but I think their first tag team championship in WWE is going to be the big one. And I think if there's anyone to dethrone the New Day from the title, it should be these two. Dash and Dawson, old school tag team, hard hitting. You gotta love it. Great match. The Revival winning, loved it. Good match, and yeah, not too bad at all. My favourite match, one of my favourite matches of the show. We then got another one of my favourite matches, Natalya versus Charlotte for the Divas Championship. Natalya dedicating the match to Bret Hart, who is of course recovering from prostate cancer surgery, I believe. So yeah, obviously get well soon to Bret Hart. Not that he's going to watch this video, but yeah, great match again. Natalya is incredible, and she has to be used more in the Divas division. Ain't nobody got time for Brie Bella. Why have we got Alicia Fox and Brie Bella having matches when there's someone like Natalya and Paige who deserve to be in that spot and having their matches? I don't really know. Great match. They had an extraordinary match on NXT in 2014, I think. And this was another pretty goddamn good one. The ending obviously was predictable again. We knew Charlotte would win, but the way it happened again was quite predictable. Ric Flair getting involved, but the hinting of the sharpshooter throughout the match, it was just a great wrestling match. Not a great Divas match, a great wrestling match. It's we don't necessarily say it was a great Divas match anymore. It was a good, great wrestling match. No matter what the gender, this was a great match. And yeah, fantastic match, as I expected it to be. And you never know, Natalya could get herself in and push it into a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania. Who knows? I'm not necessarily thinking that's going to happen, but you just never ever know. I think a lot with the Divas, I'd like to see some of the matches being won without the submission. I know that this match wasn't actually won with the submission, but it was won by like a roll up type thing, and then Charlotte putting her foot on the ropes. I'd like to see the Divas having finishers that finish people off that aren't submissions, just so it gives that variety. Because I think sometimes you're watching the match, you got Sasha versus Becky Lynch. It's either the Sama or the bank statement. Nothing else is going to win. So every pin, it doesn't really get you on the edge of the seat, because that's the only thing that they can win with. Look at Chris Jericho. He's got the code breaker and he's got the walls of Jericho. Cena, the STF and the AA. Shit is the finishing move. Well, both of them are. He's got the two things, if you get what I mean. AJ Styles has got the submission finisher and the normal wrestling finisher. I can't think of the fucking word for it. But yeah, I think they just need to have a finisher as well, just so we see a bit of variety rather than just submission ending, match. Another match with a submission ending or a roll up. There needs to be that little bit more variety. That's my only criticism, not of necessarily the Divas, but just allowing them to be able to do that. We then got Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, versus Luke Harper. This match got into my head a little theory that I had, which was a dream, but it was never going to be, and that was that because Brock Lesnar only faced Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt was going to stand out, I thought to myself, right, Lesnar's going to interfere in the main event. He's going to interfere in the main event. He's going to attack Dean Ambrose. Then everyone's going to think Triple H is going to be smiling at him. He's going to suplex Triple H. The lights are going to go out. Bray Wyatt's there. Sister Abigail. Fatal 5-way match at WrestleMania. Now I don't think that would happen. It would be the biggest main event in the biggest WrestleMania ever. But it wasn't going to happen. But it just installed my little dream that maybe it could happen, but it didn't. Bray Wyatt standing out. They didn't want Bray Wyatt to get squashed. I suppose you can understand it. It was a little bit disappointing, not going to lie, but I just love Lesnar. I'd never get bored of seeing him suplex people. Luke Harper's incredible in the ring as well. And yeah, Luke Harper wasn't squashed, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether after WrestleMania and Brock Lesnar's done with Dean Ambrose, whether this feud with Bray Wyatt is looked at again, because I think many people are wanting to see Lesnar versus Wyatt, and I think if WWE used WrestleMania to build Bray Wyatt up, get him facing somebody with a good name to him. I'm trying to think of somebody you could face. And getting that Wyatt family a win and booking them solid and actually committing to him. Then when we see a Lesnar Wyatt at, at SummerSlam, for example, if they're booked in well up until then, it then starts to look a big match, and it's going to draw money. But you've got to book the Wyatt family good and not do what you keep doing, which is 50-50 booking with them. Will WWE do that? I don't know. But yeah, that's that done. We then had Sami Zayn versus Stardust. Sami Zayn, of course, getting a huge reaction when he came to the ring. No surprise there. Beat Stardust in a decent match. I just can't buy into this Stardust bullshit. I really wanted to be Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes is a fantastic in-ring wrestler. And these two could put on a match of the year if you gave them 20 minutes. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, good win for Sami Zayn on a special. And yeah, it looks like he is going to be in this Intercontinental Championship hunt at WrestleMania. Looking like another ladder match in my opinion. But yeah, great to see Sami Zayn on the main roster. I don't necessarily think he'll win the IC title at WrestleMania, but I do think after WrestleMania we will see a one-on-one feud between him and Kevin Owens, and yeah, that will just slowly embed him in to the WWE. So it's a good time to be a fan of Sami Zayn. I think it's going to be a big couple of months for him. He'll have a good show at WrestleMania, and yeah, we know Sami Zayn is an incredible in-ring talent. And Zayn versus Nakamura. Fuck, I just cannot say that guy's name, can I? At NXT Dallas is going to be incredible as well. We then saw the match of the night. Main event should always be the match of the night, but it isn't always the case. In the most predictable main event ever, we saw a match that made me at one point think Dean Ambrose was the new World Heavyweight Champion. What a match. Extraordinary. And you have to give WWE credit. In a really predictable match, they always manage to just put that doubt in your mind. Maybe it's not going to be predictable. And that's credit to Dean Ambrose and Triple H. You know, the way Dean Ambrose was mocking Triple H throughout the match. Dean Ambrose, I've been saying about this, Dean Ambrose was never in my top 5. Out of the Shield, at one point, a few months ago, Ambrose was 3rd. I like Roman Reigns more than Dean Ambrose. Even saying that out loud now makes me very, very embarrassed. Seth Rollins was my favourite, and probably is still my favourite out of the Shield members. But then again, Ambrose pushes him well. Reigns he is well down. And the only time that Reigns was ever above Ambrose, to be fair, was after TLC, when I got a little bit overexcited. But, not anymore. Dean Ambrose is, up there with Seth Rollins. He is in my fave 5. He is up there with Kevin Owens, Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. I would struggle to put them in an order of people that I love. I'd struggle. Out of them 4, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Brock Lesnar, and Dean Ambrose, I don't know whether I could order them right now. I really don't. Ambrose is incredible. The spots he does, the charisma that he has, everything he does is entertaining. They have potentially one of the biggest superstars in WWE history on their hands. They have to give him the world title at some point. If Reigns is going to beat if Reigns is going to beat Triple H at WrestleMania and win the title, I want to see Reigns, Ambrose, and I want to see Ambrose dethrone Reigns of the title. It has got to fucking happen. You cannot have this guy not winning the title. His feud with Lesnar at WrestleMania is going to be freaking incredible. I'd still love it to be a fatal 4-way or a fatal 5-way, but it ain't going to happen, so I've just got to accept it's not going to happen. Expect Shawn Michaels to come in and be special guest referee for Triple H versus Roman Reigns, which will just bring that up a little bit. But Dean Ambrose is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. His storytelling's amazing. His wrestling's amazing. The spots he does is amazing. He's got no level of fear. He has such a high pain threshold. It is incredible. I think Ambrose is a sort of wrestler that would wrestle with a broken neck and he wouldn't even know he's got a broken neck. He's fucking crazy. Love Dean Ambrose. This match was brilliant. Triple H, he knows how to put on a great match, doesn't he? And you know what? I'm going to be rooting for Triple H to stay champ at WrestleMania. I do not want Roman Reigns to be champion. So yeah, the event was predictable, But it was a good event nonetheless. We saw some great matches. Dean Ambrose again just showing what a great superstar that he is. And how close. And did you think that he was a world champ? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I did. For about 3 seconds, Ambrose was champion in my mind, and it was the most beautiful feeling in the world. WWE Roadblock is done. We've got past the roadblock. We're now sprinting. We're now accelerating straight to WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, Texas. It is going to be huge. Lots of stuff coming over the next few weeks. Getting ready for WrestleMania. Previews, predictions, talk about it. Specific looking at the matches, predicting how I'd book them, how I think they're going to be booked. We're going to be doing it with every single WrestleMania match on the card. I'm going to do my own individual predictions. We'll do a massive prediction show with Harry, Alex, Lyle. They've all been on here before. They're going to come back. WrestleMania 32 is going to be massive, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm getting ever so slightly excited for it. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit overexcited. That could be a problem. Who cares? It's the Super Bowl of WWE. It is the World Cup of professional wrestling. WrestleMania 32 is just 3 weeks away. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts on Roadblock down in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.